Staying with the story next, and we can bring in our international affairs editor, Kethevane Gorjestani. Kethevane, great to see you. Where are we in these talks exactly, and do you see any signs of progress? Because we've been here before.
We've been here before. Some people, the optimists, see one clear sign that maybe there's a little bit of progress in the fact that you have the big players that are arriving today that are set to join the initial indirect talks. These are the people who likely have the power to say yes or no to any form of compromise or decision. You've got the Qatari Prime Minister, Turkey's intelligence chief. Of course, for the United States, you've got Steve Witkoff, the Middle East envoy for Donald Trump, as well as Donald Trump's son-in-law. And for Israel, Ron Dermer, who's the key advisor for Benjamin Netanyahu. So the presence of these people now means that there might be something to do and to deal there. That is for those who are optimistic, but it's also a cautious optimism because, as you said, we've been here before, and right now there's still a lot of details to be negotiated and figured out, and also some bigger issues that they might not yet agree on. Among those things to be negotiated, the names, the mechanism, the timeline of the hostage release and exchange for Palestinian prisoner release. There's also the first phase of the Israeli troop withdrawal, how far they withdraw, what's the timeline for that withdrawal, and also the fact that you need a ceasefire there, and Hamas is pushing to get guarantees that the ceasefire is actually going to last, and that when the hostages are all freed, that Israel is not simply going to pick up and start where they left off. And finally, overarching all of this is the sort of next steps in that peace plan. And of course, there's that key sticking point of, for example, Hamas having to disarm, which is something that Hamas has said is a red line, and something that Israel says they absolutely want to see before they withdraw even further.
Now, you mentioned who gets released. This deal, of course, will see the release of the Israeli hostages and the remains of Israeli hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. But on the other hand, Israel will have to release some Palestinian detainees. Do we know who Hamas wants released from Israeli jails?
Well, look, the talk right now is on the fact that Hamas wants about 250 Palestinian prisoners who have been accused and charged with very serious crimes and who are serving life sentences in Israeli jails, plus around 1,500 to 1,700 Palestinian detainees who have been arrested since October 7th, 2023. So there are two categories of people that they want to see released. And according to Israeli media reports, Hamas is really focused on getting some of the key Palestinian figures to be released from those Israeli jails. Among them, you have, for example, Ibrahim Ahmed, who's a Hamas West Bank operations chief. He's serving 54 life sentences for 46 murders. You have Abbas al-Sayed, a senior Hamas operative, serving 35 sentences. But it's not just Hamas figures. They're also looking to get other Palestinian figures released, like Ahmad Sadat. He's the leader of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. He's serving 30 years for his role in the killing of the then Israeli tourism minister, and the most high-profile of them all, Marwan Barghouti. He's probably the best known of these names. He's the founder of Fatah's armed wing, but he's also a top official in the Fatah movement, which, of course, controls and is in charge of the West Bank. He has been a leader and an organizer who sort of made his name during the first Intifada, the first uprising. He was also very involved in the second Intifada, and that led to his arrest and sentencing in 2004. He's serving 5 life sentences cumulated for his role in a series of attacks that killed 5 Israelis. He is a terrorist for Israel. He is a figure of the resistance for the Palestinians. He's one of those few Palestinian figures also that has broad support, not just in the West Bank, where he used to organize, but also in Gaza, among the Palestinians in Gaza. And he's seen as someone who could, at least for the Palestinians, play a key role in sort of the day after the war ends, in the restructuring, reconstruction of the Palestinian territories and the Palestinian state, because a lot of people now see him as possibly a successor for the current Palestinian president, Mahmoud Abbas. So he's seen not only as a figure of the resistance, but maybe as a figure of the future of the Palestinian statehood. And that could be one extra reason for the Israelis not to release him. There's a report in Israeli media that says that Benjamin Netanyahu actually told his cabinet that, quote, symbols of terrorism like Marwan Barghouti would absolutely not be released. So we're not there yet, and clearly you see that this figure is very divisive. It would be a huge symbolic victory for the Palestinians if he's released, but of course the Israelis and a lot of people in that cabinet might be very opposed to releasing someone like that.
Let's see if Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff can throw their weight around. Thank you very much for that, Kethevane Gorjestani there.